Right. Nice talking to you, my fellow truthers. I'm Jeremy of The Main Conspiracy. And today I have some questions that I would like you guys to ask yourselves. And this is especially for those who are still asleep and choosing to stay asleep and not deal with the cold hard facts of life. So I will start with the first question. I want you to ask yourself this question. How many family bloodlines actually run this world? I have reason to believe that it goes beyond just the original 13. Some of these families are just being used as a front to protect the other 13 that actually think they rule our world. As a matter of fact, I believe all 26 and possibly 27 have a hand in the evil, depravity, and perversion of our realm. These families don't earn, or didn't earn, they stole. They never spoke truth to get power. They lied and covered it up. And they didn't get to where they are by winning fair and square. They cheated the world. These people have never really built anything and know nothing about creation. They lie, cheat, steal, and kill to get what they want, just like typical losers would. How does that make you feel? I want you to ask yourself this question. Who are the families that have brain rot and truly think they own this world and everything in it? These satanic, cannibal pedophiles who are the cancer of this realm are as follows. The Astor family, the Borgia family, the Bundy family, the Breakspear family, the Collins family, the Samaglia family, the DuPont family, the Orsini family, the Freeman family, the Conti family, the Kennedy family, the Chiggy family, the Lee family, the Colonna family, the Onassis family, the Farnese family, the Reynolds family, the Medici family, the Rockefeller family, the Gattani family, the Rothschild family, the Pamphili family, the Russell family, the Este family, the Van Dyne family, and the Aldobrandini family, quite possibly the Merovingian family, so possibly 27 families. How does that make you feel? I want you to ask yourself this question. Are all of these families satanic in practicing the Luciferian philosophy that's taught in every Masonic hall, every secret society, and every brotherhood in the world? Absolutely, 110%. Police and other law enforcement involved in this as well? Absolutely, 110%. Remember, this is a cancer that is spread to every institution, church, police station, military, schools, universities, the EU, NATO, the UN, the WEF, and federal corporations and institutions. Every single one of them. How does that make you feel? I want you to ask yourself this question. Was the Titanic sunk on purpose? Yes, it absolutely was. You see, the Rothschilds wanted the Federal Reserve to be built in America back in the early 1900s. And there were three gentlemen that opposed this evil. They were Benjamin Guggenheim, Isa Strauss, and Jacob Astor. These men were well known and powerful themselves. In order for the Federal Reserve to be built, these men had to die, and so they did, along with many others aboard the Titanic. 1913, everything changed, and the Rothschilds and the Morgans got what they wanted. J.P. Morgan owned the White Star Line Company and the Titanic. Decades later, Hollywood makes the movie to cover their tracks and blames it all on a fucking iceberg. It's bullshit, is what it is. How does this make you feel? I want you to ask yourself this question. Why do I have to pay to live in a country I was born in? The answer is very simple, and it's because you were not born into a country. You were born into a corporation. There is no United States of America, the country. There's the United States Corporation that was a country at one small time a long time ago. Then in 1913, it all changed. The continent that you reside in is simply a gigantic business. And you are the worker, the employee. The idea that you live in a free country is merely an illusion, fabricated by the very same people who signed the Declaration of Independence as "We the People," a declaration nobody asked for and nobody personally signed. It's a contract, guys. How does that make you feel? I want you to ask yourself these questions. Do I really have a bank account that the government opened up for me after I was born? Do I really have millions of dollars in said bank account? The answer is yes, 100%. Your account number and routing number are on the back of your birth certificate and social security card. Millions of dollars are just waiting for you in your own government banking account. Isn't that great? Good luck getting the money, though. They have made it nearly impossible to obtain it because of all the red tape you'd have to go through. Plus, the lawyer you're going to have to hire to help you get it. How does that make you feel? I want you to ask yourself this question. Why was the Earth depicted as flat in books and was common knowledge among the people of the world before 1776 and then died out? It's very simple. That's because the Earth is indeed flat. The evidence is everywhere, absolutely everywhere, if you know what to look for. If your brain works well with problem solving, it's a piece of cake to see and figure this out. There's books from 1776 and after that show the creation of the globe fabrication with pictures and explanations of why they changed our realm from flat to a sphere, and it has maps of Tartaria in them, which has purposely been erased from our history. Tartaria was intentionally destroyed and hidden from the rest of the world. How does that make you feel? I want you to ask yourself this question. Why would the old, satanic Zionist banking families want Tartaria wiped out and never spoken of again? It's simple. Tartaria was indeed an empire that never relied on money systems until the Rothschilds showed up. They operated on what we know as guilds. This was an extremely advanced society that spanned the entire world. Money didn't exist in these societies, and the Rothschilds wanted what class? That's right, central banking. The people fought back against the tyranny and was absolutely destroyed. And all the advanced technology was taken and hidden underground, taken by these old satanic Zionist banking families. How does that make you feel? I want you to ask yourself the question: what were all the wars that happened post 1776 really about? All wars post 1776 were merely about destroying whatever was left of the Tartarian Empire, all the remnants. Of course, you were brainwashed into believing different, but I assure you that you were lied to. After the mud floods and the frequency wars, there were still a lot of remnants left that stuck out like a sore thumb. So they used war and propaganda to rally people up and destroy what was left. All wars post 1776 were a fabrication and lie for these losers to cover up one of the greatest empires to ever exist. How does that make you feel? I want you to ask yourself this question: what kind of technology did Tartaria possess? Let's put it this way: we are but ants in the eyes of the Tartars. We are a 1 on a scale from 1 to 10, and Tartaria was definitely a 10. Airships, free energy everywhere, sacred geometry that was used to make their buildings, healing facilities that used frequency to heal, anti-gravity technology, direct energy technology. These people understood how to use frequency and vibration to build, grow food, take care of their animals, and to take care of each other. This empire was ascending to be an empire just like Atlantis. Then the Rothschilds spread like the cancer they are, destroyed it, and stole the technology that is slowly being dispersed to the public as they see fit. And they're making a pretty huge profit from it. Your phone isn't anything that hasn't already been here before. All of our technology is primitive compared to what they had back in the Tartarian days. How does that make you feel? I want you to ask yourself this question: why are we draining the earth of its life source? Oil and gas are the earth's blood, especially oil. We've had free energy technology for centuries that was once used to power everything from lights to buildings and vehicles. The Tartarians utilized the ether, which is full of free electricity, and they harnessed it to power our world pre 1776. We were never meant to pay to live in this realm. The Rothschilds and their stupid banking system destroyed all of that. The sooner we destroy these families, the sooner we can get back to greatness. How does that make you feel? I want you to ask yourself this question: how much of any dogmatic literature is actually true? Religion was made to control you and keep you scared. You should never fear your God. And God doesn't require you to read a man-made book and attend man-made cult worship, which is religion. Organized religion is evil and is used to protect evil people and evil acts. The Pope doesn't represent Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ's name really was Yeshua, which is Joshua today, who was christened with knowledge and the ability to operate his third eye, which is your pineal gland. anyone can achieve this. How does that make you feel? You to ask yourself this question. Is the Bible a forgery and a fabrication to keep us all scared and obedient? You're goddamn right it is. Though there are many great things you can take away from the Bible and apply to your life and have a good life, a meaningful life. This book has been tampered with for thousands of years, used to fight wars, kill people, justify evil and wickedness. It is nothing more than a tool to keep you stupid and weak. They don't want you thinking for yourself. Free thinkers are dangerous. But you can worship God anywhere at any time, and you absolutely don't even have to read the Bible to make it to heaven. That's all bullshit and brainwashing. God is within you. That's what Joshua was trying to teach everybody before the fucking Babylonian Khazarian Jews killed him. How does that make you feel? I want you to ask yourself this question. Does NASA film all space events underwater? Yes, they most certainly do. This is because we live inside a dome and can't go to outer space. There is no outer space. This is documented fact, and there is video evidence to back it up. Every rocket that has been shot up into the sky has been a distraction to keep your minds in the clouds. NASA knows there is no outer space, and they definitely know that there's a firmament. And as long as we are staring up at the sky, we're not paying attention to what's really going on behind the curtain. It's bullshit. How does that make you feel? I want you to ask yourself this question. Are the sun and the moon really as far away as NASA claims? No, they are not. And NASA fabricates absolutely everything they show the public. We live inside a dome known as the firmament, and both the sun and the moon are inside the dome with us. There is no outer space. And all the pictures from NASA that shows you that Earth is a sphere are 100% fabricated. Nobody has ever been outside the dome. Outer space is underwater. NASA is a satanic organization created to push the globe propaganda. How does that make you feel? I want you to ask yourself this question. Do all of these fake news media outlets and podcasters on YouTube and Rumble and other platforms like them really know what's going on? I'd hate to break it to you, but no, they don't. And if they do, shame on them. We all know that the mainstream media is full of shit, cherry picking what they want the population to know and what they don't want the population to know. How does that make you feel? I want you to ask yourself this question. Are all mainstream media outlets controlled by Zionist Satanists? Absolutely. 110% they are. These people are Zionist pedophiles who lie to you on a daily basis. Are all channels on YouTube, Rumble, and other like platforms lying to you? No, not all of them. There are some very good people on these platforms who actually talk about the real news and tell the truth about the evil that plagues this realm. How does that make you feel? I want you to ask yourself this question. Why won't some of these channels tell the truth or talk about the actual problems this realm is facing? It's because they're scared. It's because they're afraid of losing their channel. Money, fame, money, following, money, credibility, money, materialistic wants and needs, and lastly, their fucking money. These people, in my opinion, can't be trusted to the full extent. They're background noise at best. Now I will name just a dozen of them, the good ones and the bad ones. I want you to write these names down and check them out to see if I'm wrong. Mind you, that I do watch some of these channels, and they're good at covering kinda real news and everything else you don't see in mainstream media, but that's it. Nothing more. None of them get right down to the actual meat and potatoes of what's really happening here, and it makes me fucking sick. How does that make you feel? I want you to write these down. These are the names to steer clear of if you're trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Jesse on Fire, Redacted, We Are Change, Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, Kim Iverson, The Young Turks, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Sean Ryan, Julian Dory, Danny Jones, Tim Dillon, Tim Pool, Moon Henry, and Glenn Beck. These people should be ashamed of themselves for not telling the real truth and covering what's really happening in our realm and who's truly behind it. It's sickening. How does that make you feel? I want you to write these names down if you really want to know exactly what's going on in our world today. David Icke, Richie from Boston, Bill Cooper, Jordan Maxwell, Minutes of Horror, Sean Atwood, Kevin Annett, Alondra Markman, Chuck Swindle Jr., Stephen Gladstone, Lauren Moret, Tex Mars, Fritz Springmeier, David Wilcock, Jesse Zabatar, Kathy O'Brien, Robert David Steele, and Jimmy Dore. These people are the real deal truth tellers. If you really want to know what's going on in this realm, I suggest you watch these people and listen to what they have to say. These are the real heroes, and they don't give a shit about fame and fortune. They have spent their lives telling the truth to as many people as they can, and some have died doing so. How does that make you feel? I want you to ask yourself this question. Is Hollywood really putting spells on people? They used to make magic wands out of the wood of the holly tree, made them out of Hollywood so they could cast their spells on people. That's all Hollywood is. Owned by Khazar Zionists who use black magic on the rest of the world. This is how they're able to keep everyone ignorant, ill-informed, and dumber than a rock. If they make a movie about a historical event that's written in the textbooks that the Rockefellers fabricated, then it must be true, right? Then they stick truth in front of your face and label it sci-fi, fantasy, or horror. They know the truth, but you don't. How does that make you feel? I want you to ask yourself this question. How can 1% of the population actually dictate and control the rest of the world? Very simple answer to this one. It's because we have allowed it. We, the people, have fell for everything these losers have presented to us. We never questioned anything, never fought back against anything, never gave two shits about what was being presented to us. We were just concerned about how convenient it all was. Now we have poisoned food and water, electronics that listen and watch every single move you make, inhumane laws and policies, ridiculous movements all through the country. Satanism is normalized. TikTok controls your kids' minds, and we never fight back. We never question anything, and we never fought back against anything because we are ignorant beings. We believe everything the media and the government tells us and never question anything. There's really no hope for a lot of you. How does that make you feel? I want you to ask yourself this question. Are we able to change and fix what has happened to our world? Absolutely. But a lot of closed-minded and unchangeable people will have to die. The people who have the world by the balls are going to have to be exterminated and put to death until the Zionist Talmudic ideology that has our world hostage is 110% eradicated and extinct. From the Rothschilds all the way to Peter Thiel, these people are the cancer of this beautiful realm, and it's because we have allowed it to spread. No more secret societies, no more secrets, period. All depravity and perversion of this realm must die. Any and all remnants of this ideology must be destroyed, just as Hitler was doing with the book burnings. All books, magazines, posters, clothing, video, institutions, buildings, vehicles, online content, which is 85% of viewable online content, songs, bands, actors and actresses, entertainers, and porn stars, and porn. Everything that connects to this bullshit ideology must be destroyed forever, never to return. Then, and only then, can humanity be saved. We have to fight back and not be afraid of the consequences, no matter how hard it may be. This has to end now, or we will not have a future. Humanity will forever be enslaved into the new system run by these cannibalistic pedophiles who will have all rights and say over your children and your grandchildren. This is humanity's last fucking chance to save itself. So stop being afraid and fight for what's yours. And fight for what's good and pure for our future. A world without evil and secrets is hard to imagine, but it is absolutely obtainable and possible to achieve. No more left versus right. No more black versus white. No more lies and deceit from people who care nothing for you or your family. We can start new and fresh. We just got to stop playing their game. Stop paying your bills. Stop going to work. Stop shopping at their stores. Stop buying shit, period. Grow your own food. Throw your phones away. Just stop utilizing their services in every way possible. That's how we start, and they will definitely feel the blow. How does that make you feel? All right, and I will now leave you with this. Prove me wrong.